The first event just before E3 for Summer Games Fest has been announced. There is some crazy Starfield rumors going around, and Outriders continues to be a major success. It was the most exciting time of the year in the video game industry. June leading up to E3 and then that week of the E3 showcases is always some of the best times for video game news, and just if you're interested in the industry at all, as we're always getting new stuff that is announced. We're seeing the future of what is to come across all the different platforms. And for this year, luckily there is going to be an E3 with it being a digital event. Last year there was no E3 because of COVID. It was canceled and all that kind of stuff, but we're still going to have it this year, which is great. And it's going to be kicked off with the Summer Games Fest, which is going to be a 2-hour show on June 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Jeff Keighley announced the show and he said that it's going to be about 2 hours long, and there are 12 world premieres that are planned, and there will be over 30 companies that have confirmed to be a part of the Summer Games Fest. So on this show, there'll be Microsoft, Sony, EA, Activision, 2K, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Sega, Blizzard, Bandai Namco, Koch Media, WB Games, plus more. Now, this is going to be the very first event before we get into Ubisoft Next, which will be on June 12th. And then after that, I'm assuming all of the other shows that are going to be going on during E3. And Xbox and Microsoft are going to be at this event. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't think anybody really does. I would be really surprised if Xbox comes out and makes any big game announcements on this first show, because they're going to want to save all of the good stuff for their main show at E3. So I wouldn't go into the show expecting anything crazy, even though he says 12 world premieres. Maybe look out for some big Sony stuff because they aren't at E3 and they haven't really announced when they're going to have their own show to go over things that should be expected for the PlayStation 5. So maybe this is the opportunity they take to be in front of a big audience and announce some games that we don't know about yet, or some release dates for games that people are waiting for. But in terms of the Xbox side, I wouldn't expect too much at this first show. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, 12 world premieres could be anything. So it's still an exciting thing, still an exciting prospect, and I'll definitely be tuning in. Now, moving on here to another crazy rumor for Starfield. I mean, Starfield is probably the hottest game in terms of the rumor mill right now for Xbox, as people want to know when this game is coming out and if they're going to show it off at E3. I think they will show it off at E3. I originally thought they were going to show it off and then release it in 2021. I mean, that still could happen, but there are bigger industry insiders coming out and saying that it's going to be pushed until the first quarter of 2022, which does still make a ton of sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But there is this crazy rumor here going around that Tom Cruise could be starring in Starfield. So basically what is happening here is that this rumor comes from 3 self-proclaimed Starfield insiders, and each of them are claiming that Bethesda has recruited Tom Cruise for the game. And they point to a tweet back from 2018 where Bethesda Game Studios tweeted at Tom Cruise. So here is the actual tweet. It says, "Hey Tom Cruise, we're huge fans. Loved your take on Oblivion and now Fallout. Want to get a head start on our next thing." So I mean, this could just have been like a troll tweet, kind of a joke tweet that they put out there, but who knows? Maybe this is something that a lot of people looked past, and it could mean that Tom Cruise is the star of upcoming Starfield. Now, when it comes to having a big name be the face of your game, we saw Keanu Reeves with Cyberpunk and how big that got. I think that was a really big marketing move by CD Projekt Red and got people more interested in the game. People who may have not been interested when they see Keanu Reeves come out, if they're a fan of his, then they become more intrigued about what the game is all about. When he came out onto the stage at E3 when they were talking about Cyberpunk, was one of the biggest moments of the entire show. So maybe Bethesda's trying to go down that route and get a big face, a big name as the star of the game, just to create more hype and help with marketing this game. Now, I don't think there'll be any problems with marketing Starfield, even though we haven't seen anything about it. There's still so much hype around it, which is crazy to think about. We don't know anything about this game. We've seen leaked screenshots. We don't know when the release date is, and I'm sure we're going to see more at E3. But up until now, there's still a ton of hype for Starfield going forward. And then when we're staying on Starfield, this is from a Twitter account from Luke Stevens TV. So Luke Stevens, he's a gaming YouTuber streamer with 200K plus subscribers. And this is a tweet that he put out 2 days ago saying that Starfield has been pretty much done since September of last year, and Bethesda Game Studios has spent this year polishing it and refining the next gen port. And he's been told that they're trying to make up for Fallout 76 and deliver a game that's polished to perfection coming this year. Watch. So he seems to think that the game is still coming out this year and that they want to just make sure that when it is out, there aren't going to be game breaking bugs or anything like that, or just bad visuals and stuff that I guess you could say Bethesda is kind of known for when they put out a game. When they initially launch it, there are definitely bugs that get worked out as the game goes forward, and Fallout 76 was pretty much a disaster when it came to that. So that is a believable thought and a believable tweet, that they do not want to make that mistake again, and they're going to be doing everything in their power to make sure that when it comes out, it is completely finished, which would then make you think they would want to take their time, then rush it out this year. But we'll have to wait and see at E3 what they say. I mean, E3 is coming up fast. We are May 19th. It's only a couple of weeks away now, and it's going to be one of the most exciting events, I think, in a long time, especially when it comes to Xbox. And finally, to end things off here, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's a good thing and it's interesting that Outriders has had 3.5 million unique players in its first month and will be expanded in the future. So Outriders has been a great success for Square Enix and for People Can Fly. So this is from April 1st to May 1st, 3.5 million unique players, and now Outriders is being labeled as the company's next major franchise. And they say here, with over 3.5 million unique players, average play times of over 30 hours, and extremely high engagement for cooperative play, we and the amazing team at People Can Fly are so excited with this initial success. Launching a new game IP is never easy, and we remain very grateful for our community's support and feedback. We continue to listen carefully and want to assure everyone that we are committed to improving and enhancing the experience in the coming weeks and months. We also look forward to expanding on Outriders in the future, meaning there's going to be more content coming for this game. Definitely stuff that I'm going to jump into. I wonder how they're going to release it, if it's going to all come into Game Pass when it comes to adding this content, or if you're going to have to pay extra for this additional content. We will have to wait and see. I enjoyed Outriders a lot. I beat the campaign. It was a ton of fun, but I haven't really gone back to it much more after beating the campaign, doing a little bit of the end game stuff. And it's mainly because there are so many other games out there, and I want to be able to jump in and try everything out and then provide my experience on what I think of all of these games. But I definitely will be jumping back into Outriders at some point, especially if they release new content, like new campaign content, adding to the story and stuff like that. I will definitely jump in and finish that off. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Are you excited for the kickoff show for Summer Games Fest on June 10th? What do you think about the Starfield rumors with Tom Cruise starring in the game? And do you think it's still going to come out this year? And Outriders, are you still playing it? And what were your overall thoughts of the game? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and you like what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow, help grow this community, so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.